And I'm very disappointed in this government for still keeping this fool at GBC. Onye bibia no to kwasiampanyi. Kwasiampanyi ofa phone na ofre Esla say on cancel me. I was working to get the NDC to power for kwasia to sell Uso enyumre ka Esla who say Esla Owusu should find every means to find how I got into Ghana. This man Kwasiawi today is standing before John Mahama and telling John Mahama, you know what? We want government to pay our debt. John Mahama, please, with all due respect, sack this fool. Fula. Ebedum Pempensobino said John Mahama and the NDC in the power. We might revolt as a nation. Yeah. For 1 year away, John Mahama, the way he's presenting himself, the way he's making governance so easy and accessible. Say, I'm very careful. Now I'm bompa ma MDC antina power. Ama John Mahama enye de also ye nyina. Now yes science santema one share we will revolt because it will be very difficult to get the characteristics and the qualities of John Mahama and appointees from the NPP. It will be very difficult. And the money dangerous and say when we taste good governance for about 12, 16, 24 D&D years. Na say a tia cha. Say nyomani nyina jina na so na say things are done right. And na John Mahama kano. When the NDC is able, so much to me at the nyoma CCA for the next 40 years. A buying for banda e fumpe, it is easy for us to kick them out. And see, right now we are testing good governance. There is no fear. We are starting to believe we say at least Ghana form Ghana home. Say a mistake. That's a case of 8 years, 12 years. We might revolt because this group of political termites or more MPP, they don't understand what being a president, being a leader. Mahmoud Bawumia, he's not a man. Kennedy is not a man. And when we say somebody is not a man, and your baby Sebio ne bema tietia, and I say Ebia Sebio ni Jimmy, it is about how they are able to look through and see through their issues. It is about how you are able to look through and see through issues. Nana Dankwa Ekufuado is blank when it comes to being proactive. He's very blank. Okay? But Bajumba Nkwan bit mama sa nyansa no take effect beboye. Nyina enim nyansa. Obi a ohwe me bia enim nyansa. Obi a wa MPP enim nyansa. Obi a wa NDC enim nyansa. But the issue, the thin line between nyansani and the Bajumba no say, Bajumba no tumi fa nyansa no na wadane no ama no tumi be benefit eye ono ene ne nkofo. It is not easy. John Mahama echo eye GBC. And the GBC boss Alhassan Esla Mahama say we need to restructure GBC to meet the demands of the digital world. Now, this man, when he was talking to the president as the director of GBC, or making some astonishing statements to be at a point. Time on the president take us on or see. And just let's go listen to him. We are the
third issue I want to bring, and that is probably the one that gives us a lot of sleepless nights, Your Excellency, is the issue of legacy debt from ECG and NETCO. First of all, currently we have been forced to pay it, but I want to make it clear that those debts were not generated by GBC alone. In the past, when there were no difference between government agencies, the military, the police, national security all positioned their equipment on GBC locations and were drawing power from the same source as GBC. So when it came to a time to install meters, these meters were installed in the name of GBC, and they started accumulating debt with GBC. So when we brought it to their attention, these state agencies simply disconnected and found alternative source. But they had accumulated a few years of debt for GBC to pay. We've currently been paying it this year. We've paid 5 million of it. Currently, we have outstanding of 13.6 million cedis. We are simply requesting and appealing that the government takes care of the legacy debt because we are currently dealing with our current bill. We make sure that we take care of our bill. But the legacy debt is drawing us back. Now, our prayer is that if that is taken care of, it will allow GBC to expedite its action on green energy. With collaboration with the BBC, we currently have solar systems at Ajankote transmission site, and we depend 30% on solar and 70% on national grid. At Takoradi, we have also installed solar, and we are currently spending 50% on solar, 50% on national grid. And if the responsibility of legacy debt is taken over us, we sincerely believe that we can speed up the process of using IGF to do.
So this is the director of GBC. And then someone can say, I am the director. My better GBC. And then Mr. President, a cabia net daho for light bills near the day. Those times no na police for soldier for near the day no mo baha no mo use a light nibi. Inti me cabe daho. Inti yedi ultimate 5 million. Inti Mr. President, a buying enhwe no muntia sai kanet daho no. This man is a man who is working for government, and he's telling government to pay data or no ebetoye. Now, you see the problem we have in Ghana, and I'm so disappointed in the president because this man should have been sacked the first day the president came to office. GBC director, no? And I know GBC workers had series of demonstrations against this daft man. This man should have been sacked long time. He's a waste of time. He's corrupt. He's a liar, a double-faced liar. And where Oyenkrebonia, with all due respect, on Kanokre. Now, you see, the problem I have with these people, and I say, when they are made managers, directors, they come on board with no ideas. They don't come to inherit institutions to change the face of institutions. They don't come with any new idea. The reason why people are appointed as directors, chief directors, they are appointed as CEOs, is for you to bring a new idea to change the status of a institution, say, Banabedano. Now, if we have directors like this who every single day they are complaining, they are crying, they see the president and tell the president, they say, Mr. President, yeah, the cat, police for DB, military for DB, no money now, Mobaha. No more you see a light in be inti ma aban tua aban ben na ntua saka no. You are very incompetent and very ignorant to make that statement. Hey, senka some way ya papa we catch the president no. Senka America na or catch Donald Trump and that day na Donald Trump says resign. Yeah. You want the president to come to GBC to visit you before the problems at GBC can be solved? You don't deserve to be there. You don't deserve to be there. And Anim just say we entertain, and I'm so disappointed in the president and this government for keeping this man at the GBC. I think this government, they don't want to help GBC. They still want GBC. Me sure say aban we say on say because aban we were idea for frobi or of the boy GBC. Your national television now. The people who have been there. Then to me, share all African games for Ghana. No, these are not people who are supposed to be there. No. If you say you are resetting a nation, people like these are supposed to be fired, Mr. President. Yeah. So the resetting, no, how are we resetting? We are making changes. We are making sure that those who could not deliver, when those people were in power, they are supposed to move. Those who could not deliver, those who could not prove themselves, there are thousands of people who can take this position and turn GBC around. Now, if a president comes to sit before you and you are begging the president, Mr. President, I am a government worker. We work as a government institution. Let government pay our debt. You are insane. You have to be sacked. And such people, they take fat salaries, incentives like I say, big houses, big cars. They are pompous, walking around and behaving as if say nobody can question them. And for a president to come to GBC for you to tell the president, say, yeah, the cat. GBC is supposed to generate money to take care of GBC. Now, if you have become the director of GBC and you cannot generate funds to change the GBC, then you are incompetent to fill that position as a CEO. You know something? This same man, Tamane Kufuor power no, I know for a fact he was in bed with the NPP. He was doing serious campaign with the NPP. And I'm so pissed off with this government for still keeping such a slimy liar still at GBC. GBC is not making any money. The nonsense and the audacity from this man to tell the president, say, yeah, the government should pay. Government, no wine. Government, who is government? This is GBC, the nation's television, national television. You are supposed to generate money. You need to crack your brains, foolish man. You cannot crack your brains. You cannot create any different ideas to make GBC look different, to make GBC make money. You foolishly sit there and wait for the president to come. You look in the president's face and say, I am being paid. I am taking allowance. I am flying out of the nation. I am getting all the incentives. Mr. President, pay our debt for us. Are you foolish? You are supposed to be sacked. Hey, man, way, or a one corrupt Muslim, or a munafiki, also nyankopon twena so asase we so. This is the same man when we were working so hard to tell Ghanaians, say, Nana Adodan Kufuor ne ba umiamo, they are corrupt. They are destroying the nation. This is the man who was making calls for my platform to be shut down. Such a fool. This fool, on one case account, when the Asem say, I na Owusu, and na Oya Salah, and na Imam will be an on anyone Masala Chikacha and say, make Kevin Taylor. Because time as son, Kevin Taylor Obabe expose the MPP for Obabe yes scandal. Obabe kano krena chiremi imam no na senebe yen nyebe tuma bua etu abanbone no. Sa kwasi campaign way ba Accra. He was worried. He wanted Esla Owusu to shut me down. This foolish man. How can such a fool, Mr. President, be entertaining such a fool? This guy wish you never became president.
But it should have been more. We have can control it, but direct to home, outside your borders or inside your borders, but it will hit have merged. And when you are home and you are running to, now I will illustrate one example why this conversation matters. About 2 years ago, up in Tamale, after the evening prayers, I engaged the imam in the chat. Then officer, he told me that, oh, it's time for Kevin Taylor. I'm running home. I said, you have Kevin Taylor on your TV? He said, yes. At that time, I could only access Kevin Taylor on the internet. I didn't know that DTH, Kevin Taylor, was entering Ghanaian homes. I went home, scanned my TV, and there it was, free to my house. I came back to Accra, scanned, it was there. And I remember sending a text message and a screenshot to a very important regulator. All he said was, wow. They commissioned the NCA to find a way to stop Kevin Taylor. They tracked him down. Kevin Taylor went to Nigeria and got a satellite company whose footprint covers Ghana, and currently he's broadcasting to Ghana. So, nowhere, you can't get him. Now, I will illustrate one example why this conversation matters. About 2 years ago, up in Tamale, after the evening prayers, I engaged the imam in the chat. Then officer, he told me that, oh, it's time for Kevin Taylor. I'm running home. I said, you have Kevin Taylor on your TV? He said, yes. At that time, I could only access Kevin Taylor on the internet. I didn't know that DTH, Kevin Taylor, was entering Ghanaian homes. I went home, scanned my TV, and there it was, free to my house. I came back to Accra, scanned, it was there. And I remember sending a text message and a screenshot to a very important regulator. All he said was, wow. They commissioned the NCA to find a way to stop Kevin Taylor. They tracked him down. Kevin Taylor went to Nigeria and got a satellite company whose footprint covers Ghana, and currently he's broadcasting to Ghana. So, nowhere, you can't get him.
This man, that is what he was doing. What was Kevin Taylor doing? Kevin Taylor was exposing the NPP government. This idiot took it upon himself, offered Esla Owusu, and told Esla to shut me down. To get my license to just operate, I spent over $20,000. I was paying $5,000 a month, and I'm still paying to be on multi-TV. I spent $20,000 just to get a license to come and tell Ghanaians that This is what is happening to Ghana. Kwasi Ampenyi came to Accra. He called Esla. Nipana will say he called an operator. He called Esla Owusu. Offer Esla Owusu and you bring Esla Owusu say Esla Owusu should find every means to find how I got into Ghana. This man, Kwasi Awi, today is standing before John Mahama and telling John Mahama, you know what? We want government to pay our debt. John Mahama, please, with all due respect, sack this fool. These are some of the naughtiness that you are not supposed to allow around you. Whoever is lobbying for this fool, you need to sack this guy or to for anything Embra GBC. Even your manifesto lunch, this guy instructed them not to cover your manifesto lunch. This fool. Kwasi Ampenyi today, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was president for 8 years. This man could not look in his eyes to tell him the problems of GBC. And we allow these fools. They draw so much money, big salaries, stupid idiots, and then we give them chance. Because they were benefiting from it. All African Games, this foolish man. Don't entertain such a fool in your face. Make somebody who is competent enough to make sure honorable to me the Najine Etia GBC Kai Dahono to come and lead GBC. Get somebody who can crack his brains and become the CEO who is innovative enough to create means to pay GBC debt off and also rebrand GBC to become a better national television. Onye bibiano to Kwasi Ampenyi. Kwasi Ampenyi ofa phone na ofre Esla say on cancel me. I was working to get the NDC to power for Kwasi to sell. And sometimes people sit there and say, who did you tell? Do you know what we have gone through to get here? We put everything on the line for Kwasi to say, today they are still taking salary. Kwasi man, oh. And you see, when I get angry, there are so many things I don't say on my show. And I'm very disappointed in this government for still keeping this fool at GBC. I'm disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Because more and the position in our NDC, more and they're from CEOs, you're from ministers, it was because of people like us and those who worked so hard to get you power. Now, no more preventing people from getting power, no, and these are fools who are not supposed to be taking any positions. I'll come back to his matter. Until this man is sacked, I'm not done with GBC. Me see. Until this man is sacked. And it's not like Obi Heitino. This man is not intelligent enough to be the CEO of the director of GBC. And then I record GBC. Yet Ghana, all African games go into Shebi, Kwasi Ampenyi. Yet African Cup of Nations, into Shebi, Kwasi Ampenyi. Yet Ghana, local things going to mean cover of free. The Bena Opea Kemuda, a dirty man. Munafiki. Kwasi Afo. Me for be I'm telling you people. I've lost a lot of money to get to this point. I've lost a lot. Masa mi bosika, maseno, mashe to get the NDC to power. You'll be shocked. Mi bosika, mashe. Say, mi bosika, mashe in my life. The money I have wasted, spent, money I could have used for my family. Me to me, sustaining a production to get NDC back to power. Me catch you all be shocked.